Welcome to the most serious podcast. And today's guest is Namrata. Very interesting personality again. And she will tell us a lot about healing. She will tell us a lot about trauma management. She will tell us a lot about mental health, possibly a side of mental health which I haven't discussed on this podcast before. We've had people on the show who've come and talked about mental health, but not from the angle with which we are going to talk with you, Namrata. So thank you so much for coming on the most serious podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
It's an honor. I think that gives me too much validation.
Accept it.
But yeah, feels good. I know that you are slightly running a cold, but how are things? How is life going? What are you up to these days?
Well, fantastic journey, I must say. Every step of the way, every corner of the life, there is a new set of challenge which one has to learn from, accept,
Yeah.
and get on with tricks. How you're going to process it, how you're going to accept it. So yeah, this is a journey going on. Like for me, as a hypnotherapist, as a trauma healer, life has been a big journey of learning. So as I'm going forward with my work, I'm meeting so many people going through a lot of things. So that helps me as a practitioner to understand how I can be better and how I can show up for people and how I can keep continuously improve my service, my therapies, and adapt it and customize it for people. So in all, personally, I think it's an exponential growth where I have come a long way from where I started and, helping people and
Yeah.
being there for them, the person that I needed when I needed help. And now I can
Mm.
be that person for them. So that's a very rewarding journey for me.
And I think also feels very so when you talk to a person who's doing a standard job, okay, they never have this kind of validation, some sense of contentment once you do something like this. So I think even though we measure success of professions by financial metrics a lot, but I think there's a lot to think also about how much contentment do you get from the practice that you do in your life, because you're essentially giving so much time to that art or that craft. If you don't get a bit of contentment, or for someone like you who's found that helping others is something that's so core to your being, and now you practice it, so I think that probably makes you more content in life. What's your view?
The only word that comes to me is passion. If you're
Hmm.
passionate about whatever you're doing, it's not work.
Hmm.
So it may be, and how we measure success, that definition has to be very clear in your head before you do anything. I can keep chasing success. Oh, I will achieve so many marks in my school. Now I'm successful. Then you will feel, no, now I need to get into this college. Then I'll be successful. Or I'll get into that company. Then I'll be successful. But in essence, define. A lot of people are very clear. If I have so much money in my bank account, then I'll be successful. If I have a house, if I have a car, if I have many of those, then I'm successful. And then they're chasing that goal. Okay,
Hmm.
but then there are few who attend and achieve that goal and are still feeling a lack when they are there. So that means their definition keeps going ahead every
Oh, of
time,
course.
so to me, I think I was very clear.
Yeah.
Monetary goal, yes, which I had to ensure that I am taken care of, my
Yeah.
family is taken care of. And first rule of therapy or any work is ensure that you are full, your cup is full, and only
Hmm.
from that cup you can pour. So therapy started as a process where I discovered what my true passion was in one of my own QHHT session. And that made sense. And my pressing question in the therapy was, why me? Why I had to go through what I went through.
Hmm.
So the answer I get from the oversoul is, if you did not go through what you went through, how will you know how to help people who actually need that help?
Hmm.
Like, okay, that makes sense. But please lower the intensity now. I get
Yeah.
the gist, I get the drill. Lower the intensity and allow me to do what I'm supposed to do. That's how I define success. Is I measure success by seeing how the other person who's come for therapy is actually getting their results, who's now in alignment with their own self, who have understood why they were feeling stuck or why they were going through a particular trauma or health ailment or emotional upheaval or feeling hollow, feeling alone, feeling lonely.
Yeah.
So the root cause is completely different when they actually are induced in a state of trance. They must be feeling, oh, it is because this happened in my life or that happened in my life. But the actual reason that the subconscious has associated with is entirely different.
Hmm.
Sometimes people are left with disbelief, like, is it really that? I'm like, take
Yeah.
it or leave it. It's take it or leave it, but work has been done. Like your
Hmm.
subconscious, your brain, your body had to give you a tangential explanation that you could sit with.
Hmm.
That is why this was told to you. So, yeah, like I said, there's only passion and your defined success. And yes, success can be vertical and horizontal. Then you decide how else you're going to add value to people's life. That's how I operate.
Can you help me understand a little bit more on the word that you said, which was QHHT? And what does it mean? And also, can you walk me through, because what you said sounds very interesting, but I'm not sure that I understand most of it. So can you
Yes.
help me handhold and really understand, like, what is this therapy really about, and how does one get into it, understand it?
Yes. So QHHT, that is Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. This is a technique that was developed by Dolores Cannon. She is a pioneer in the field of hypnotherapy and UFO investigations. So she has done this work from the 60s, okay,
Oh,
like
wow.
early 60s. And she has invented this technique. She's perfected it over 45 years. And
uh,
she herself has transitioned in 2014. However, her work continues to live on. Sorry. So, quantum healing hypnosis technique came into my life when I was seeking help to understand all the questions that were unanswered in my life. Or like, what is my way forward? What do I do next? What is it from here onwards? Because I had finished a role and now it was time for me to move on to a direction. So I wanted clarity. And when I started looking, there was an innate n- need for me to start looking for life outside this planet. So this might
oh.
sound
Yeah, sounds very
sci-fi.
interesting.
So I suddenly, out of, I don't know why, I would always feel like this is not my home, this is not
Okay.
my place. I would feel out of place. Okay. So I started looking for life outside the planet Earth.
Hmm.
So I started looking for extraterrestrials I started reading the documentaries and watching documentaries. So something started triggering me even more, like
Hmm.
the need to get into it more deeply. And
Okay.
suddenly, Dolores started appearing on my feed, or her video started appearing on my feed. So I didn't pay much heed to it. But suddenly I said, okay, let me listen to what it is. And she started talking about life outside this planet. I'm like, okay, makes sense. And there's somebody who knows what I am going through.
Yeah.
So when that happened, uh, I'm like, I have to do this. I need to teach her. She just knows what is going on.
Yeah.
And then I realized that she herself has been an UFO investigator for 25 years of her life. And
Wow.
she's written so many books and articles. And then she also started mentioning that she has a therapy called QHHT. And for me, it was a thing like, oh, I can't go to US. There is, a lot expensive to go to US to just do a therapy.
Yeah.
But let me see if I can. So I gave up that thought of going and getting the therapy, but it was not letting me sit.
Okay.
quite. So I started going through her videos, her books. She has written more than 20 books, 25 books, and I started reading. I finished all her books.
Wow.
And that's when, like a thought in my mind or a voice note or say my gut and intuition had just awoken, and it told me, ask for a practitioner, look for a practitioner.
Hmm.
So I went on Facebook. Like everybody's on Facebook. So let me
Yeah.
see if there's a QHHT practitioner. So people started coming up with, no, I can do Reiki, I can do numerology, I can do this and that. I'm like, no, I only need QHHT.
Hmm.
That made me realize there is nobody who's doing QHHT in India.
Hmm.
So again, I gave up. So, but the thought was just not settling. There was like a constant nudge from my gut.
Yeah.
Then suddenly one fine day I'm driving, and while going to office, I hear a very loud and clear voice. Google it. I'm like, okay.
Damn.
So I go to my office and I Google QHHT, and to my luck, I found one and
Hmm.
only one practitioner in India, but she happened to be in a different part of the country. And I'm like, ठीक है, it's US जाने से तो सस्ता है,
Better, yeah.
यहाँ जाती हूँ. And she then tells me कि, okay, which city are you from? I said, I'm from Pune. She's like, you might just be in luck because there is one who's just traveling to Pune, and then
Oh.
you can call her and check if there's an availability. I'm like, yes. So that's
Yeah.
how I got to do my own QHHT.
Hmm.
And in my session, I've had all these questions. So we come with 10 to 15 questions pertaining to our life, emotional, mental,
Hmm.
physical, all the questions where you need to know why this is happening with me or what is happening or any other phenomena. And my question was like, why am I connect with ET? All those
Hmm.
kinds of questions. I had a lot of questions. So in my session, like I said, I was told. So in this therapy, we first start with a past life regression. And then after a past life regression, when you actually understand why all the troubles in your life are showing up from, okay, then we
Hmm.
solve it in that we close it. It's basically achieving closure. It could be coming from this lifetime, from your childhood, or it could be coming from any other lifetime or incarnation, if you want to believe that. In India, it's not difficult to talk about reincarnation because we are a culture that believes in
Hmm.
reincarnation and life after death and, punarjanam.
Yeah.
So, so that a lot of things made sense to me. Why? And once that closure started happening, it happens instantly in the session. Okay, it doesn't. You don't have to wait. कि एक साल के बाद होगा. No, things start happening immediately. And by the end of the session, I was like, you are in trance.
Hmm.
But I was amazed to how this could really change my life. And that's when I got to understand, like I was told in the session by the oversoul, we were nudging you to come and get your session done. If you
Hmm.
wouldn't have listened to our nudges, we would have clipped your wings. I'm like, okay. So
Wow.
this oversoul is, you can call it God source,
Hmm.
you know, uh, whatever, whatever is the higher energy, the cosmic intelligence, which we don't know, that keeps this rhythm of the universe, of the cosmic in place. Sun rises and sets in a particular way every day for
Hmm.
eons. So what is keeping this? Planets are forming, galaxies are forming, they're getting destroyed. What is this force that is operating? That is that
It's
exact same force that we are
actually,
tapping into.
yeah, it's so mind blowing to even think about it. Like at the scale this whole thing operates. And to even imagine that one person's mind has all of that and more, like it's such a complex system to even understand. I think things like this probably give you a window or a outlet to probably look into something which is not as easily accessible, or not easily answerable by the current construct of beliefs or knowledges that we have. But also, I think one thing that also interests me a lot, and I want to ask you is, when someone is going through, let's say, a bad phase of their life, or something traumatic happens, how much of that is healable by probably something like QHHT, or going to therapy, and how much of it is just time, like you have to wait for 3 months for you to get over possibly a very bad breakup, or you can do some of these things and get over it quickly, or do you think you have a take on this? Like, is time
Yes.
universally there, or can you make it heal
So,
faster?
so see, this is spiritual science. This is nothing andhashraddha, yeah, superstition or makeup of the mind where, we are just, nobody's schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what we tell whoever is nudged to explore QHHT or any therapy for that matter, it will work if you believe it.
Hmm.
If you don't want to believe it, it's completely okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you will just be delaying or taking your own time to
Hmm.
reach where you have to. Whenever you take a therapy or work on resetting a particular emotion or a memory that has now been stored in to your limbic system in your
Yeah.
central nervous system, these are tools to get to that and take it out, the pain that is associated with that particular event,
Hmm.
the intensity of that is reduced or completely removed. So when the pain is not there or that memory is not there, you will not experience that trauma over and over again. Because if that pain is there, that memory is somewhere stored in the body, it is going to keep on reminding you and keeping you in that loop of rethinking and recalling that incident again and again and again.
Hmm.
And you will say, no, I'm going through my breakup, let me be, let me take my time. Yes, of course, take your time. But why not seek therapy? Why not help yourself regulate faster? Why do you want to stay in that?
But can
Because
you no so I have a question in this key. Can you truly ever forget memories or erase memories? Like, I don't think that you can probably, or maybe you can, like, I don't know, can erase memories. I think sometimes you just accept things that have happened in your life, and probably we are bad at accepting things that happen in our life.
that is a lot to do with belief systems. Okay.
Hmm.
Second is there's always ego that is in the
Hmm.
way. The first step to any healing therapy is to accept that yes, there is a problem.
Yeah.
Because if you are in denial, then you're never going to accept that there is a problem with me. Okay. Now, what happens is with these kind of therapies, your mind muscle is expanded. Okay. When your mind muscle is expanded, you get a different perspective to view that same event.
Hmm.
Now, what happens is a particular memory, okay, was very painful, say death of a loved one or an accident or you saw something. It is a trauma which has now registered in your subconscious. Okay, the subconscious will start playing it in your dream state or start showing you more of those because it wants to relieve you of that and get it out of your system. Now, what we do is we dissociate the memory and that trauma from that
Hmm.
event or incident or person. When that dissociation happens, you will able to even recall that memory, but you will not have the same emotional reaction to it.
So I think you lose some attachment to it.
100% attachment is gone. Unless you
Wow.
are somebody who wants to, keep on, there are people, so we work on the mindset also when there are a lot of closed mindset, I want to sulk and be that in that mode
Hmm.
because they're just pulling and becoming more heavy with
But
emotions.
why does someone want to do that? Why do we as human beings and in our right minds, why do we want to feel sad sometimes?
Well, movies. A lot of influence from the movies. Honestly,
Yeah,
people, sad songs, they'll keep listening to sad songs over and over. They'll watch that movie which they have watched with their person.
yeah.
They just want to be in that state. So as soon
Hmm.
as we detach them from that, they'll really stop doing all that.
I think we also, as fundamentally as human beings, probably an insight that I have experienced is that we seek comfort a lot more than other things in life. And maybe sometimes it's physical comfort, sometimes it's emotional comfort and mental comfort. Because if you think about it, people keep going back to the things that they do, for right or for wrong. So for someone, if they are in a good schedule or whatever, so they will keep going back to their gym routine. And if someone is in a bad habit, so they find comfort in that habit because that is something that they own and that is something that is familiar. So instead of trying something new, it's always comfortable to go back to something that you're already familiar with.
Naturally, that's because we are a we are the sum of our past. Okay. And
Hmm.
familiarity is what our mind is always comfortable. It's the flight or flight mechanism, the
Yeah.
survival instinct, which doesn't want you to explore, because now it's not the tiger from the jungle that is going to haunt you or eat you, but it is the societal traumas that can come to you. So instead
Hmm.
of going in uncharted territory, just go back to what is familiar. So even if the change is going to be positive, the subconscious always trying to give you excuses. For example, if there is somebody who wants to start gymming or start yoga,
Hmm.
okay, 4 days, the body starts hurting, aching, because this is a sweet pain, new pain.
Yeah.
Now, this is your test. Are you going to push through it and continue?
Hmm.
Or you're going to give into that pain and nay, I can't do this, and stay back. So if you do not push through and do not go ahead, that pain will naturally go if you're going ahead. Okay,
Yeah.
but go back, you're doing the same old thing. So you're not changing anything in your life where the opportunity was given. So it's
Hmm.
always our self, our and that need and that gap between thinking and doing and pushing through when you're almost about to hit the gold in the mind,
Yeah.
you know, that is where these kind of therapies help, because now this is the old belief system which is taking over. Let it be. Why do you want to struggle? It's you're good in your comfort zone. Now we'll see. We'll go after 10 days. Let the pain go down. Then we will go. But that next Monday never comes.
Next Monday, tomorrow never comes.
And
I
why
think,
do resolutions? Why do New Year resolutions never last?
yeah.
Because what have you really done on a mental and emotional level to change? Yes, you are very challenged and motivated to, yes, I'm going to do this and that. But have you worked on your mindset? Have
Hmm.
you worked on resetting and rewiring your mindset, which has, you also know very well that you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
You're just, and then you'll have hundreds of excuses. So that knowing is what we break with QHHT, with hypnotherapy, that this
Hmm.
process is. Because as I'll give you an example, there was a person who had come to me. Uh, he was, he would just keep on eating. He would eat and
Hmm.
eat like a bear. Okay. And that would cause a lot of issues with the gut, with the body, with the weight.
Yeah.
So when we did the QHHT, we understood that he did have a lifetime as a polar bear,
Wow.
and there was scarcity of food. So whenever
Yeah.
he would get food, he would eat and store it, because you
Oh,
never
okay.
know when he would get the next.
Yeah.
That memory stayed so strong in this reincarnation. So when we healed and we reasoned with the subconscious, now this is all in the subconscious. Okay.
Hmm.
When it stayed with the subconscious, literally, as soon as the reasons were understood, why this was happening in this lifetime and how it was not serving, it stopped. It stopped. Like there is no
Wow.
more eating and eating like big portion size. because there is no need for survival now. You know,
That's amazing. Sometimes I think, and this, the word that you picked up on, survival mode, this I also heard in a passing conversation, which was, about how sometimes in our current, ecosystem of the environment that we live in, we almost always are in survival mode or some sort of panic. And that has become kind of like a default. So now your comfort state is your survival state, and that is a very dangerous position to be in. So maybe you can do it for 6 months or 3 months, or some can do it for a year, but once it starts wearing you down, then people end up feeling trapped and lost, and like an
burnt
imposter, that I
out.
don't belong here.
Mhm. They are completely burnt out because, and they keep going in circles, repeating the same things again and again. Discernment of what is right from wrong is completely wonky. So survival mode, again, why are we in survival mode? Because something to do with our food, clothes, shelter, air that we are breathing
Hmm.
is not right. Maybe jobs are not right. Maybe suddenly you are put in a situation where family separating, houses under some issue, family member, the sole earning member has died, or some upheaval has happened. So it's a natural state of the body to go over there. I have noticed a huge amount of survival mode which a lot of newly married women face.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, why?
Because they are going from their own comfort zone into a new household. And
Hmm.
then suddenly they are expected to be that daughter-in-law who's waking up early, who's cooking,
Yeah.
who's following their religious practices, who's doing everything. And she's not even given time to unwind and rest and recoup. And
Hmm.
expectations increase a lot. And also they have to provide financially. Suddenly the loans are put on their names. They're paying for the house, then they have to give birth. They have to,
Hmm.
they have the pressure of giving birth to a boy child. Even now,
Yeah.
so many of them come and their survival instinct kicks in. They
Hmm.
can never come back or reset themselves because they are constantly proving themselves to their in-laws, their
Yeah.
husband. And when that is happening, I feel very bad for them. And therapy can help them.
Hmm.
Therapy can help them. In fact, in pregnancy also, like we were told in the sessions that therapy for before, during, and after pregnancy is very important for new mothers because they are bringing up a new life, and that life has to be free of trauma, of
Oh,
generational
yeah.
trauma, ancestral trauma, lineage trauma, genetic trauma. And that is only possible when the mother is educated and
Hmm.
the mother is fed well, nourished well, and is maintained in a happy state. So many of my clients have come with intrauterine wound, which they were not even aware they stored it when they were in their mother's womb.
Oh.
For them, the entire life was a survival, or they were perennially sad and they would not understand, or they were perennially confused. They wouldn't understand where is this coming from. They're like, everything is fine. I'm in a good house. Parents are fine. Friendship was nice, but why am I still unable to feel? So when
Hmm.
you take them back, interuterine wound uh, is a big one. And sometimes, literally, there was one of my client who was shown thousands of wounds, like in a semicircle,
Yeah.
in that state of trance. He's like, he has incurred that interuterine wound for so many reincarnations.
Wow.
It's huge. And as soon as we worked with him, he was a different personality, completely
They,
different. But
they
that
so
created a lot of
yeah.
identity crisis for
I
him.
think hearing all of this makes me wonder that there's so much information stored about me inside me that I am completely unaware of, and that possibly dictates so many of my actions and my thoughts and my experiences. But
100%.
I don't know about them. So where does a common man like me start, and what do they do in my daily life to become more conscious about myself?
First of all, what you can do is start. taking a note of how your day is. Okay.
Hmm.
Are you in a routine? Are you following? You sleeping at the same time? Are you waking up at the same time? Is there something that you're doing erratically? Is there, you know, identify your own life.
Hmm.
What is happening in your life? What is the emotion that you're left with at the end of the day? And what are the choices you're making? So observe yourself for 30 days. You will have enough data. Write it down. And you'll know, oh, I was upset for this reason, or I went at this place which I didn't even want to go to, but I still did, you
Hmm.
know, or I didn't want to call people over home, but I still did. Uh, or I did not want to eat a meal, I still did.
Yeah.
Or I was talking sarcastically or negatively about a particular set of people or myself or my family members. So identify in these 4 5 aspects of your life where your
Behavior
relations.
patterns. Yeah.
When you identify the behavior pattern, you yourself will know, okay, there is something, or your growth, your choices, your career. How confused are you? How quickly you're able to make decisions? You
Hmm.
know, is there a discrepancy between, okay, you make a decision, but then you back out? Is there something like that? Or how, what influence, how other people are influencing you and how much you're allowing that to happen?
Hmm.
Or are you yourself accepting any and everybody's opinions and making
Yeah.
your own? So these are a few things that if you 1 month consciously identify, come to us. You will know, okay, there's a pattern. There is a
Hmm.
pattern where I'm going on doing same things and feeling the same way. And I need to reset this. Or you're meeting the same kind of people. No, same kind of emotion is left and like an aftertaste, no matter how many different people you're meeting.
Hmm.
So that
Wow,
becomes
that's
a
also very
pattern.
interesting. Yeah. Because
So
that
that is
happens with people.
so these are few things that you have to take a note of. And now when we've identified a pattern, it's very easy to break it, change it, alter it. And the work that is done with QHHT, really helps in resetting, rewiring your neural pathways. So neuroplasticity is a
Yeah.
phenomena which is recently being spoken about, but Dolores just knew it in her 60s. And she was
Hmm.
given this is literally, she calls this a technology of the future.
Hmm.
This is like a therapy of the future, where even Albert Einstein said that frequency is the new medicine or new way of healing people. Now you will see German technologies are coming with frequency machines. You set a certain frequency and you place it on the part of your body that has a particular ailment, and that ailment disappears
Wow,
without any
that's
medication.
huge. Yeah.
So, what is QHHT? Is exactly that. We are tapping into a frequency that is going to now work for your healing, that is going to work for your rewiring. Because any lower or heavy emotions, sadness, fear, shame, embarrassment, fear, anger, resentment, guilt, these are all heavy frequency emotions and lower frequency on the spectrum of emotions.
Yeah.
Okay? When you're feeling fear, you are completely closed. Your body language is completely closed.
Hmm.
When you're feeling joyful, happiness, ecstatic, pleasant, how you feeling? Your body language is open. So you're vibrating at a higher frequency. So with that frequency is exactly how we enable you to maintain when the lower emotions are now reset out, because there
Yeah.
is a reason why that emotion is within you. Okay, that reason is understood, it is cleared. And once that is cleared, the symptom just disappears. The symptom could be a health ailment, the symptom could be body pain, symptom could be, lack of decisions, symptom could be bad relationships. The symptoms just disappear because that emotion wants to stay put and
Yeah.
wants to create more events in your life that will keep you in that emotion.
Hmm.
So that is why if you're sad, you'll keep on listening to sad music, you will be in the sad state. But if you want to change your mindset,
The
just
emotional
change
inertia.
your playlist. Just change your
Yeah.
playlist. Your mood will instantly elevate.
Wow, I think so. All of it starts with me, and I have to start tracking things. And I think that's something actionable which I can do. And I always love actionable, uh, things that people give advice, so that you actually get some juice out of it. But thank you so much, Namrata, for coming on the most serious podcast. It's honestly a very intriguing conversation, and some things that you said gave me such a different perspective on how I naturally look at some things. But I think these conversations, are always way helpful in learning a lot about what you already don't know. And I think almost conversations like these should be encouraged more, because of the fact that once you are, and this is something that I admire also about people who practice crafts that are not very popular or very stock of the norm, because you need a lot of patience as an individual while practicing that craft, to also be patient enough for people to understand or not understand it, and still have that ability to navigate through that. So I think it's kudos to you and the work that you do. I felt super intrigued in this conversation, but love talking to
Likewise, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having this conversation with you.
you. Thank you so much, Namrata.